Hey guys, JMac here. So we're currently testing patch 2.1.2 on the PTR, and honestly in this patch there's really not a ton of changes to the Witch Doctor class. There's going to be some variations on the Jade Harvester build which we'll go over in this video, but that's really about it. One of the big changes in this patch though is the introduction of ancient items, and basically each legendary is going to have a chance to roll as an ancient item when it drops, and for most gear slots, you're just going to see higher base stats. So for instance, these ancient set pants, they can roll up to 650 intelligence, 650 vitality, and 775 armor. The big slot though that you really want an ancient item for is your weapon, because the ancient weapons will roll higher average damage. And as you can see on this staff, the damage is absolutely through the roof. So you're going to see a huge damage increase if you have an ancient weapon over a regular weapon. Alright, that brings us right into the Wormwood Staff. Now they revamped this staff in patch 2.1.2. It now rolls with poison skill damage, and then the legendary effect Locust Swarm is cast on a nearby enemy every second. And what this allows you to do is free up an entire spot on your bar where Pestilence used to be. You can run something else now and solely rely on Wormwood to cast Locust Swarm for you. Now just keep in mind that it's going to cast the vanilla Locust Swarm unless you have a Locust Swarm rune on your skill bar. So if you decided to put Pestilence or Searing Locusts or what have you on your skill bar, Wormwood would cast that rune. But otherwise, it's going to just cast the regular Locust Swarm, which, even though that doesn't spread as fast as Pestilence, the fact that it's being cast so often by the staff and that you don't have to cast it yourself means that it still spreads really quickly, and it allows you to just simply worry about casting Haunt, making sure every enemy is haunted, and then cast your defensive abilities. Alright, so we've already talked about how we don't have to run Pestilence in this slot, which frees it up for something else. Currently, solo I'm going to be running Mass Confusion with the Paranoia rune for 20% additional damage for 12 seconds on the enemies on a 60-second cooldown. It's off cooldown constantly with how much CDR we have and Grave Injustice. I like that quite a bit solo. I think in a 4-man party, that Big Bad Voodoo Slam Dance may be the way to go. Even though the attack speed from Big Bad Voodoo does not really benefit Jade Harvester much, all it really does is make it so you can cast your haunts quicker. For the most part, if you're the only Witch Doctor in the group, you should probably still bring it for everybody else, because most classes and most specs benefit from attack speed, and obviously the 30% damage is really good for everybody. But there's other options too. If you're soloing, you could even run like Grasp of the Dead, if you wanted to, Hex even, something like that. Just play around with it and see what you like personally, but I do like the Mass Confusion Paranoia for solo play. And then the other big change is they revamped one of the Haunt runes. It's now called Poisoned Spirit, and it does poison damage. And the effect is haunted enemies take 20% more damage from all sources, which is obviously really powerful. But what this also allows you to do is you can double dip on your poison element damage. You can just stack poison elemental damage on your gear, and it's going to benefit your Haunt now, as well as your Locust Swarm. Whereas before, your Haunt was always going to be cold damage, and your Pestilence was obviously poison, so your Pestilence wasn't getting the benefit from all the cold elemental damage you were stacking on your gear. So this is a really nice change. As far as the rest of the spec goes, it's really standard for Jade Harvester. Piranha's Paranado to kind of group everything together and get that damage debuff on the enemy. Spirit Walk Jaunt, Soul Harvest Siphon, Horrify Frightening Aspect. This could also be Stalker. Basically, if you have enough CDR to where your Spirit Walk Jaunt seems to be off of cooldown almost all the time, there's a good chance you don't need this 35% additional armor, and you could go Stalker instead if you wanted to. And then as far as the passives go, Pierce the Veil for more damage, Creeping Death is pretty obvious, Grave Injustice for the CDR, and then Spirit Vessel. Alright, let's quickly go over the gear. So again, the Wormwood Staff. Now, once you get an Ancient Furnace, I'm pretty sure you're just going to use that and go back to the Pestilence route on your bar and run the Furnace. But the Wormwood is way more common, and it's going to be a really good placeholder until you get that really sick Ancient Furnace, which, let's be honest, you may never get an Ancient Furnace. The Furnace itself is so rare, and getting an Ancient one on top of that, who knows how long that would take if you ever even see one. But if you do get that, that's more than likely going to be the way to go. I don't want to say definitively just because I don't have one to test, but like just look at the numbers, it's pretty obvious. As far as the rest of the gear goes, you got the Jade Harvester boots, pants, chest, shoulders, and gloves, and then the Ring of Royal Grandeur to get the 5-piece bonus with the Quetzalcoatl helmet. And then we've got a crit damage, crit chance socket Amulet, I would like this to be poison elemental damage over intelligence, preferably. And then Bane of the Trapped is going to be the #1 legendary gem for you to run. So if you only have one socket on your jewelry currently, run Bane of the Trapped. And then we're also going to run a Unity combo with Bane of the Powerful. And then if I had that third socket, I would run the Gem of Efficacious Toxin there. We're going to still run Strong Arm Bracers with poison damage now. And then as far as the belt goes, once you get a good Vigilante belt, you're going to want to run that. I just haven't seemed to find one yet on the PTR. But you definitely want that with the 8% cooldown reduction. That's going to be your best bet. Currently, I'm just running this for the 25% run speed to speed clear really quickly. Alright, as far as Paragon points go, so in your core, just get as much movement speed as you need. I have 12% on my boots, so I need a 13% here, then go intelligence. Offense-wise, cooldown reduction, crit chance, then crit damage. Defense, armor percentage, life percentage, all res, life regen. And then utility-wise, none of these really benefit Jade Harvester very much, unfortunately. I normally just go resource cost reduction, then area damage, then life on hit. And that's really about it. We're going to go ahead and do a Torment 6 Rift, just to show the build off real quick. Now keep in mind that we do have a crazy community event buff right now on the PTR, which is giving us an increase to finding legendary items by 2,000%. So you're going to see legendaries dropping like crazy. It's definitely not going to be like that on the live servers. This is PTR, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to turn my mic off for the gameplay portion of the video. Hope you guys enjoy it, and as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.